This meeting of the Cooch County, or the North Cooch Sewer District on May 20th. Let it be known that Brian is our only person that's not here today, and he's going to be coming yet, so. On the agenda, is there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
So move to
Not?
approve the agenda.
Second. Got a second? Call the question.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. Public comment? No public here to comment. Over on to the minutes. Can approve the minutes of April 15th.
So move to approve.
Got a motion, it's got a second.
Second.
Second by Tim Beater. Any
I got
discussion?
more practice than you.
Any discussion on it? Any discussion on the minutes?
No.
If not, we'll call the question.
Aye.
Minutes are approved, thank you. On the disbursements, we got 143, 988, 75, 99.75. Any discussion on the disbursements?
The only question, or the only comment that I have is under Myers Glass. They did come and do the roof, but once they started pulling the shingles off, there were 2 layers of shingles. So it ended up taking them 2 days instead of 1 day.
Sure.
And so there was an additional cost of $1,800, which I felt was very reasonable. And they cleaned all that stuff up too, but I think they did a very nice job, so.
Looks nice.
Yeah, so we have that expenditure, and then another expenditure that will be added will be from Northern Lumber for materials.
Okay.
Other than that, if you have any questions for me, that's the only comment I had.
Also, the concrete got fixed.
The concrete, I'll bring that up too under
On the
my.
report? Okay.
Yep.
All right, any other questions, any discussion?
You're gonna say something about the PRA, the testing regimen or whatever, that we have to do testing or
That'll be further down probably, either in my report or Greg's report.
okay.
Okay, we have a motion on disbursements.
I'll make it.
Mike?
Second.
Second, Don?
Who's the second?
Don? Any
Yeah.
other-
Yeah.
Any other discussion on it? We'll call the question then.
Aye.
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 Motion carried, unanimously, thank you.
Well, just for the record, we wanna note that Brian.
Well, Brian's, yeah, we have full board now. I'm sorry, I didn't bring that up because Brian had to go get some teeth fixed this morning.
Oh, sure.
I knocked him off.
You've been hitting them? Okay. You got a duck a little bit. So,
Yeah, we have full board, thank you. On our finances, anything there? We got the budget. There's just regular.
Did you want me to make some comments?
Yes,
Okay.
you would please.
I like to look at the budget versus actual.
Yep.
From what we budgeted, you can see that our flows have been down, which is because of the dry season. So, we're behind a little bit there. Other than that, there's a few things that I have been going through in the budget. And after our June meeting, and we pay our June bills, then at the next meeting, I would like to make a committee meeting date with the budget committee, so we can review the budget and look and see if we want to, if there's any changes we want to make. Okay, but for right now, I think we look good, bottom line looks good. Of course, some of the spending that we intend to do hasn't been done yet, because we're not quite halfway through our fiscal year, so.
Any other questions on that? Anybody? And we'll put them aside for the auditors to look at the end of the year. Staff reports.
Mr. Chairman, board members, just a few things here. Last week we had flow measurement and control here that calibrated all our flow meters, and they all are compliant, which we do twice a year, so that all came in good. Also, I mentioned last time about this PFAS study that we're going to participate in. Pace was here, and we did do sampling on our influent, and they went through the sampling technique and stuff and procedure. So the following week we did it again on our influent and our biosolids. We don't have any results back yet for that. So we're just waiting to see what kind of results come back as far as the PFAS. Because this fall we'll have to test for it before we can land apply also. We sat in on a webinar the other day on the proper way to sample for the PFAS and the procedure they want done to do that. So we're just going to wait and see what happens and see what comes back as results. That'll be kind of interesting to see. We did have we've been spending a little bit of time out in East Cooch. We had a freeze up this winter out there. It is up and running now. It's in Sunset Cove. We're going to be replacing some mainline heat tape. There's a section there that we had to troubleshoot and figure out where it was froze, and we got an area out there that needs to have new heat tape put in it. So we're going to be doing that this summer also. We'll have to get it dug and pull the heat tape in there. And that's the original heat tape that's in there. So it's deteriorated over time and to the point where it's not working anymore.
How many years?
84.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's huge.
yeah, long time,
Long time.
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So we'll get that worked on this summer. We'll take care of that. Also, we did observe the installation of a couple new grinder stations out at the Rainy Lake RV site, and I think that installation went pretty good. Everything's working good, and so we just, we made sure we were on site a few times and watched, and that's up and running now. There's one station that isn't running yet, but we gotta wait to get power into it. But the main station for his campground is up and running. And it looks good. Also, we just completed our toxicity testing, our yearly toxicity testing. We did get the results back last week, and we had passing results on that, so that's good there. We do that once a year. It has to be done every year. And then we just had Hawk, our service contract with Hawk that goes through all the lab equipment. That contract that we have with them, they were here, went through all of our lab equipment, and everything was passing. So we're sitting pretty good there. And that's about all I have.
And Mr. Chair, I think that we pay $3,000 for that,
Yeah.
isn't it? And it is so well worth it.
Yeah.
To have them come up and they calibrate everything, and they do fix some things,
Yeah.
but not quite as much as they used to.
We took 2 pieces of equipment out of the contract because they told us they don't have parts or service for that equipment anymore. So this next year we may have to budget them other pieces and replace them in the lab. But so we took them 2 out of the contract. So if something happens to one of them, then we'll have to replace it. But it's been working fine.
That's because of age, they don't have.
because of
parts?
age, and then they don't have the
They don't have
parts
Yeah.
to
Okay.
service that anymore. So there's no use paying that service contract. They can't do nothing with it.
Got a question. Do you have more heat tape out there that's the same age?
Yeah, there's a lot of heat tape out there, and some of it's deteriorating. We take amp readings on it every year, and we kind of follow it to see
Okay.
how it's deteriorating.
Yeah.
And there'll be more of that in the future.
Any more questions for Craig? Anybody?
Right.
Go ahead.
So with the PFAS, if, when you find it,
Yep.
because it's gonna be there, and they have a way for you to get it out of the water?
No. No, that's gonna affect our land application.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the results come back at. As far as we know, that unless you got industrial users coming into their plant, it's pretty low.
Yeah,
Where all we have to do is notify the farmer that we tested for it.
okay,
But if it gets to a point where it's really high, and they got levels for that,
yes.
then it has to be hauled somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we'll take
They
it.
don't know what they're gonna do with it yet.
No,
Can't get rid of it.
can't get rid of it.
You can't burn it, you can't landfill, you can't do anything with it.
I'm hoping we're okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Any more questions? Thank you, Craig.
All right.
Appreciate it. Colin?
Okay. Sherry Stensland, HR Director at International Falls at the city, reached out to me and asked if we might be interested in the ALICE training, which is Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Encounter, and Evacuate. And I'm sure all the council knows about this already, but the International Falls Police Department is going around to schools and different businesses and putting on this ALICE training. And I told her that yes, we would be interested depending on cost and when they would want to do it, if it was conducive to everybody's here's work schedule. So I'm still looking into that.
It's very good training, I tell you.
That's what I
I
hear.
went through it, it's good. It's,
And you know, just when you think that it's not gonna happen, it happens. So,
and they do a good job with it too. Good job of training.
and speaking about flow measurement being here, they did go over and calibrate lift station number 7. It was Greg, Jeff, myself, the gentleman from Flow Measurement, and Brandon Stahl from Bolton and Mink. We were told that the drives were at a capacity of 15 hertz, right?
50 hertz.
50 hertz. And the drive should be at 60 hertz. And so it was only running about 306 gallons a minute. So they had automatic systems who were here go over. Greg, help me out here.
Yeah, Automatic Systems was in town, so the city, or Bolton Mink, had them go over there the next day after they realized that the drives were only set at 50 hertz. That was for the old impellers that were in there at 50 hertz to try to get it to that 700 gallons a minute that we requested. So when they put the new impellers in, the electric pump put the new impellers in, nobody put the drives back up to 60 hertz, so they run, say wide open at 60 hertz to 700 gallons a minute. So they calibrated it 300 gallons a minute because they're at 50 hertz. Automatic Systems was in town. They went over and put the drives, adjusted the drives to 60 hertz. Now they're going to have to get Flow Mesh back here to recalibrate them pumps again. And we'll see how close we are to that 700 gallons a minute.
Okay.
Well, that's important, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Heck, yeah.
They have to be at maximum capacity in order to do the testing. Otherwise, we don't get a true reading.
yeah.
So, but it's going well. Brandon Stahl is very nice to work with. I like him a lot. The cement, if you didn't notice, was fixed by KGM. They did that last week, at no cost to us. So I had actually budgeted a little bit because I told him he would share in the cost and just to let me know what it would be. And when he didn't let me know, he told Greg, he goes, well, there's a reason why I didn't let her know. So, thank you to KGM for doing it, and hopefully that'll fix our cement for next year. I also took a beginner's class to learn about AI and chat GPT, and I actually had wanted Stacy to sit in on it, but she was busy and it didn't work out. But it's I had gotten a invite to sit in on AI and a chat for Excel because they're starting to use it in different programs. It's pretty much the way of our computers and our lives are gonna go. It's very interesting. I got quite a bit out of it, and if they offer it again, I will suggest to Stacy that she take it too, because it will be integrated into her work as well. Also, the county is offering a seminar on para benefits on May 22nd. It's for employees and retirees. They'll have one session at 10 a.m. and one session at 1 p.m. And I have offered that to all the employees to be able to go to that. As long as everybody doesn't go at the same time. So everybody's working it out. Stacy's going to the 10 o'clock, I'm going to the 1 o'clock. So, and down in the plant, if anybody wants to go, they'll just work it out. So I think that's important that they know about their benefits. And thank you to the county for putting it on, because, I mean, I want to know about my benefits. I think we all do. Bruce Early is working for us again. He started Monday. And what's so nice about him is he just comes in and knows what to do and goes and does it. So it's great to have him back. And then one last thing that I just want you to be aware of is we are getting to the end of our 5-year strategic plan that SEH did for us. And so in this fiscal year, I want us to start looking at putting another strategic plan together. Having said that, I think that the route that I would like to go, it's up to the board, but the route that I would like to go is I talked to Greg and Jeff and John in the plant, and they're the ones that are out in the plant and the ponds, EQ. They know what we need to fix and when it needs to be fixed. So I've asked them to put a list together, start compiling a list of the things that we're gonna have to do over the next 5 years. Well, once I get that list, I feel as though that together I can take the board and the staff through that strategic planning, and we don't have to pay out to an engineering firm to tell us what we should be doing. You know, the last 5 years has been great. We moved some things around. There were some things that we didn't feel were necessary, but I just think that the guys who work with this every single day, they're the ones that should be telling us what we need to have replaced. So if that's okay with the board, that's the way we'll start channeling things.
Absolutely, that's absolutely a good idea.
Okay. Got it, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay. And unless anybody has anything for me, that's it. That's all I have for right now, anyway. Yes,
So where's the reconfiguration thing at,
the reconfiguration.
of the board?
We're coming to
State
it.
government, are we there yet?
No, we're coming to it.
Are we? I didn't see that.
Okay, and the old business? Do you wanna,
Yep, we'll start with the audit. We're gonna go a little bit backwards. Everybody has the audit, I'm assuming, in front of them. And so, I didn't go through it at the last meeting because I was zooming in and I didn't feel that the board had enough time to actually look through it. I know it's really good reading and you all wanted to read it, so I gave you another month. But I have some notes that Tom Kelly has given me to go through with you on the audit. So if you want me to go through those notes, I can certainly do that. If
Is
you-
that the same guy that we've had before?
Yeah. Yep, always the same. So, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 pages of notes that he's put together. So, if you want me to go through them, fine. If you think you know what the budget says or the audit says and you're okay with it, you can approve it. It's wishes of the board.
You talking about the back pages or?
Talking about all pages.
Okay.
The whole thing. Do you want me to just quickly go through it? I can.
Yes, please.
Okay, on page 2 of the audit, you'll notice in there, it talks about a clean opinion. That is the highest opinion that can be provided by the auditors. It's the same as in prior years, and it just basically says that the books are accurately stated. And the next page is page 5. And you'll see, we finished the EQ project, but last year it was a construction in progress, so it was under capital and assets in the 2023 audit. It is now under plants, ponds, and lines. And that's because it's been completed. So you'll see that number has changed to there. On page 6. Increase in overall flows with International Falls and East Cooch has resulted in an increase of revenues of, as we all know, that's what happens. We call them pennies from heaven. And the revenue changes are correlated with all the volumes and flow changes. So that's a good thing. And then in 2023, we contained a negative 370,968 in OPEB expenses. And that was related to the Gatsby 75 actuary. And that did appear to increase our overall expenses. We also have some money still in our savings account from FEMA. It's actually, we got money from FEMA and we got money from the insurance company. And the insurance company was supposed to get the money back, take the money back, or FEMA take the money back, either one. Their portions. I reached out to them several times and finally stopped. And they've never come to us to get the money back, but it is sitting in a savings account. We've never spent that money.
So now how do we represent that now when in our,
Pardon me?
well, how do we represent that money just sitting there? What do we,
It's just sitting in a savings account. Should they come to us and say, we want X amount of dollars back?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom Kelly doesn't think that they will even come for it, but you never know.
Yeah.
You never know, so.
We've confronted them with it and
A couple times.
a couple times and told them, and I guess that's
I
all,
saved all the
that's all we can do.
correspondence and stuff. In fact, the last person I talked to was an insurance person, and he said, we'll contact you when we're ready. And I said, okay. I never contacted him again. And with FEMA, we fulfilled all our obligations and stuff, so they paid right away. So for a third year in a row, we had a positive bottom line. So that says we're doing what we should be doing. And then on page 33, that is a management letter to the board. And there are no changes in this letter. It is the same as prior years. On page 34, there are a couple of things that we need to clean up as office staff. One of them is unclaimed or uncashed checks. From now on, if we void a check, or we don't cash a check, or somebody else doesn't, we have to cut out the signature on it. You can't just write void on it. And he said he's gonna be a real stickler about that in the next audit. Because people find these checks and they cash them.
Oh.
Because there's still a signature line.
Sure.
So you cut them out.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
If they cash them with a big void thing on them,
Apparently,
and then it's your fault, that should be the bank's fault.
exactly.
Something like that.
I know it happened to a friend of mine, who owns a business, and to the tune of about, what, $40,000?
Yeah.
People were recashing checks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would think the bank would catch it, but
Kids,
the banks have told them,
Unreal.
here, it's on you.
And the bank had to go good for it, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was one other thing. Well, I guess that was it. Oh, there is a form that myself and our broker have to fill out every year. And it wasn't on my radar and it wasn't on his radar this year, and we didn't do it, which Tom said, that's fine, but you cannot make a habit of it. And so I have 2 calendars flagged for this. Actually, this year's form is already done and in the file. But I have 2 forms, or 2 calendars flagged, as the broker has 2 calendars flagged. So we won't miss it. We have lots of forms made up and it won't happen again. So, but he said at one time, because we've done it since we've had it, but it totally slipped my mind, so. Not blaming it on anybody but myself. But. Anyway, it won't happen again.
Okay.
Any
Thank you.
questions?
Yeah, I would say get a couple of totes for hauling all that stuff down to the auditor. Because that box that I picked up almost, well, the box split in half.
Yeah.
And I almost lost everything, so. It's
Don?
something you gotta bring every year, get a couple of totes,
Yep.
get that stuff down.
Okay. And Don, could you pat him on the back and give him an attaboy?
I can't reach him. Don can.
Yeah, boy.
Back to the dentist you go.
So, Mr. Chair, we just need a motion to accept the audit as presented.
I'll make that motion.
You have a motion, you have a second?
Second.
Second by Don. The motion is second to accept the audit as presented. Is there any other discussion on the audit? Call the question.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Okay. Want me to keep going?
Yeah.
The boiler update. We are waiting for a down payment invoice to come through still, so that we can get started. Greg talks to them weekly, and he just doesn't know when they're gonna get started. They're waiting for parts and
Waiting to hear from the manufacturer.
Yep.
Working with the manufacturer, so
So,
it's kind of a slow process.
and again, we have been approved from, to use PFA funding for $118,732. So that should cover the cost.
The complete job on that?
Yes, other than, we already put, was it 3,000 or 4,000 into it? And they wouldn't cover that cost because that's already done. And they said that cost didn't qualify, so,
Is this,
That was their service call they did when they came up and inspected anything, and
yeah,
that was separate. And then he found these issues and
yep.
Are they tough to deal with?
Yeah,
No.
they're-
No.
yeah, pull them to a treatment plant, yeah. Yes.
Tim, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay. So that's all I have on boiler. And the grant?
Go ahead with the grant. There's
The grant for the
Television.
manhole and interceptor sewer assessment, it is all completed, all the papers are signed. I have a copy of the invoice template, so we will receive the bills. We will give them to the county will pay them, and we will reimburse the county. That's how it'll work. The grant is for $99,000. Our share is $11,000, which we have budgeted. And I believe Jason had mentioned that he may either Zoom in or come to our June board meeting just to talk a little bit more on the process and when we'll be getting started. We have 2 years to use the grant. Obviously, we need to do it in the summer and the fall, but we have 2 years to finish it. So,
anything else on the grant?
not on grant.
Okay. We're up to number 1 then. Board representation.
Okay, here comes the exciting part. The bill has been passed. So, there's a procedure we have to follow. And so, I will walk you through it. So, first we need a motion to consent the board to move forward with the rules according to the acceptance of the passing of chapter number 6, House File 1058. So, Walt will call for a motion and a second. That will be the motion to move this process forward and go into the legal part of what we have to do for the Secretary of State. Does that make sense to everybody?
And when we vote, we have to go around the table and vote individually and not just as a group, so that you can record what the vote was actually done.
okay,
Yeah, that's on the resolution. And, you know, they want to know the yays and the nays on both of these.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the
Motion.
resolution.
Got a motion by Crystal to accept the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Who second?
Don.
Don?
Don.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this?
Does that have the resolution on it?
The next piece will be the resolution.
Yeah, no, but does it have what this is, what it says? Is that, you know, it says what the resolution's for?
Yeah. I got this, this is from our attorney. I worked with our attorney on this, so,
Well, it's just so that's clear what we're voting on here.
right.
'Cause, we're all pretty good with it, but,
This first motion is only to move forward.
Go ahead.
To approve this stuff.
To go to the next one.
Okay.
You gotta do this one to go to the next one. The next one is a resolution.
There'll be 3 motions.
okay, so this one is for,
This one is for moving forward with the rules in accordance to the exception of passing chapter number 6, Bill 1058.
Okay, so past motions that we've made to pursue this have no effect because we've already done this. We pursued this a few
You
motions.
pursued this,
Yes.
but there was not a bill.
Now there's a
There
bill.
is now a bill and a resolution, so you're making a motion to go ahead and approve this as a finished
Okay.
product. Before it was draft.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? I want to make sure we have this clear so everybody knows.
Well,
Okay, if we don't, we'll call for the question. Crystal?
Yes.
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 No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, yes. Sorry.
okay. So, then, motion number 2 will be the resolution approving special law. Do you want me to read it?
Sure, go ahead.
Whereas the Minnesota legislature passed and the governor signed Minnesota Session Law 2025, Chapter 6, modifying the composition of the North Koochiching Area Sanitary District Board. Whereas Session Law 2025, Chapter 6, provides at Section 9 that the governing body of the North Cooch Area Sanitary District shall comply with the Minnesota statute Section 64.021, requiring the filling of a certificate of approval of the special law. Whereas Section 645.021 requires the board to approve by resolution the special law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of North Koochiching Area Sanitary District hereby approves Minnesota Session Law 2025, Chapter 6, modifying the composition of the board, adopted this 20th day of May 2025 by, so we need a motion and a second.
We got a question on this though? Tim, what, I mean, there was one, you were opposed to this?
Yep.
Okay, can,
Not this, the other part.
oh, the other one, okay. I mean, can you explain what,
No, I don't have to.
oh,
Right.
Go ahead. Ken.
No. So, for the resolution now, Resolution 1, 2025, we need a
We
motion
have a
and a
motion to
second.
adopt resolution.
And then I will
120
keep track of the yeas and the nays.
2025, we have a motion.
I would move.
Brian, motion, second by Robert. Any more discussion on it? Anything? Any questions on it? Call the question, Crystal?
Yes.
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 yes,
Yes.
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 Okay. All yeses.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
That's approved.
Okay,
Thank you.
next one.
Okay. Now this is the certificate of approval of special law by the governing body. So it is State of Minnesota, County of Koochiching, to the Secretary of State of Minnesota. Please take notice that the undersigned Chief Clerical Officer of the North Koochiching Area Sanitary District does hereby certify that in compliance with provisions of Law 2025, Chapter 6, requiring approval by a majority of the governing body of said local government unit before it becomes effective, the North Koochiching Area Sanitary District designate governing body. At the meeting duly held on the 20th of May, 2025, by resolution number 1, 2025, resolution approving special law, did approve said laws 2025, Chapter 6, by a blank majority vote of all the members thereas. How many yeas, how many nays, absent or not voting. And the following additional steps, if required by the statute or the charter, were taken. A copy of the resolution is hereto annexed and made part of this certificate by reference. So either Walt will sign or I will sign. And I think we have to have a motion on this
There's a
too.
motion on that also, just to
Yes.
make sure,
Yes.
because it asks for the.
And then
use of
I
the
will, yep, and then I will fill in
Yep.
the proper
Yes, it
numbers and everything, and
Okay,
so this motion will be for the certificate of approval of special law by our governing body.
So move.
Don, on motion. Second by Robert. Any questions on this? Any discussion on it?
Yeah.
Call the question?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
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 Okay.
Okay, we'll get
Thank
the
you.
papers all sent back in again and we can
So
hopefully not wait another 3 years.
I
Come back.
did, and thank you for all your work and everything you did. I did send Senator Hochschild and Jamie, his aide, who is great to work with, Senator Scraba and his aide, thank yous, personal thank yous. And yesterday I received this, a thank you note, you can pass that around, from Senator Hochschild. And he said he thought we might like this in the boardroom. And that is our new certificate.
Nice.
So I'll get a frame for it. I even got the marker that the governor signed, and he
All
sent
right.
the marker too.
That's why our budget's so,
Yeah, yeah.
that's why the budget's short and the same
Yeah,
now.
right?
Sending out markers
So-
now.
So now the next step will be, I would like to have a personnel meeting on June 4th. I talked with Walt at 8 a.m. And it'd be Walt, Tim, Robert, and Don. Are you available, Tim?
I am not.
You are not.
That is the outage for the mill.
Oh,
That
shoot.
week.
That's it.
So
We're not going anywhere.
when does the outage start?
Afternoons, I could make it, but
Oh.
I can't make mornings. That's
Oh.
when
Could-
everything kind of,
Could we do an
When
afternoon then?
does it start here? This weekend coming up?
we go down.
Saturday.
The following weekend, Sunday,
Okay.
and back up the following Sunday.
How about Tuesday the 3rd afternoon?
Yeah, that would be fine. Mhm.
Does that work for your schedule?
What time in the afternoon?
Afternoon, whatever, from.
2 o'clock?
Yeah, 1, 2, whatever, yeah.
2
Any of
o'clock?
those times work.
Don, does that work for you? The 3rd?
June 3rd?
June 3rd at 2 o'clock?
I don't know why it wouldn't, but.
Yeah.
So at that meeting, what we will do is draft steps on how to move this forward. And so that we don't, I don't mean to use the word waste, but we don't, when we come to the board, we have a plan and the board can accept it, approve it, or deny it. So we'll have a plan on the way to do it. So,
2 o'clock on the 3rd then.
Tuesday, June 3rd.
what's
One of
that?
the things that I know about is that South Falls has a representative, and that's me from that area. Isn't that
Well,
right?
it'll probably be up to, I'm assuming the mayor's, board chair at the county board. I don't know, that's something that the committee will have to come up to. It won't be our decision.
Okay. Well, if it so happens that it's my position that's being deleted, I won't like it, but I'll understand it. You know, because I was appointed from that area.
Can this take place without action from what we just approved? Doesn't this have to go through that process first?
This,
Yeah,
no, it's already approved.
okay.
This
so-
is just legal stuff that we have to send to the Secretary of
Okay,
State, and we have to do it within so many days,
Yeah.
or the bill becomes
And then
null
we
and
can
void.
just move, we can move forward though anytime
We
we
can-
want.
we
then,
can,
Okay,
yeah.
I wasn't quite aware of that, okay.
Senator Hochschild's aide had told me, she goes, you can start tomorrow if you want,
Yeah.
but I wanna,
I think it's like July 5th or something.
I wanna do
If we
it,
don't act on it, they have to start over again.
I don't know, but it will go in the mail today,
Okay,
so.
all right, sounds good. Any other questions? We have a meeting on the 3rd then at 2:00 with the Personnel Committee.
Yes.
Okay. New business was the lift station 7.
Yep, we already went through that.
Already went
Unless
through that?
Greg has something more to add. Okay.
Our next meeting then would be June
17.
17th, yeah. There's no other business. We will be adjourned.
Very good.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank